Hello everyone. This quick video here is going to be about your second interview. Okay, your second interview is a very, very important one. In my opinion, your second interview is the most important interview that you have. Okay, the first interview, honestly, is to make sure that you're smart, that you have a pulse, that you can pass the baseline, that you're a good person, that you're someone that they could possibly consider. Okay, that's the first interview. Okay, if you pass the first interview, then congratulations, you got your foot in the door, but it's not really that big of a deal in their eyes. Okay, in your eyes it is, but not theirs. So the second interview is really where everything starts. Okay, in this interview, they're going to drill down deeper. They're going to want to know a little bit more specifics around certain things, either that they have concerns about you or either about the role itself, and they want to make sure that you're a good fit and that you can handle that role and do well in that role. Okay, so going into the second interview, hopefully at the end of the first interview, you asked the proper questions and you found out what type of worker do they want, who is successful in the role, what does that look like, what attributes does the successful person have in the role, and why has the previous people in your role left? What were some challenges that they faced? Okay. Those are questions you want to know in the first interview. You want to ask those or find them out on your own. And in the second interview, you want to address those concerns to them because they're going to ask questions about, they're going to want to know, is this person a fit for the role? Are they going to fit in with the culture of the company? Okay, I'll do a separate video on that. But do you fit the culture? Okay. So it's not just can you do the job, but can you do the job? Will you fit in with the culture? Are you likable enough? Now, depending on the job you go for, the likable factor may not matter, like IT. Some IT jobs, it doesn't matter if you're social, likable, but in most other jobs, you are going to be integrated into part of their team. So they want to know, are you likable? Are you coachable? Can they see their cohorts, their teammates working well with you? Okay. So they may ask you questions around, okay, have you been involved in a disagreement in the company? If so, what were the specifics and what happened? How did you handle that? Okay. What they really want to know is, do people like you? Are you able to get along? And how do you handle conflict? Do you get over emotional or can you work it out? Okay. So this second interview, they're going to ask more detailed questions about the concerns they have about the role and are you a fit? Can you do it? And do you fit in? Or more questions to find out more about you as a person and can you do the role and are you a fit? Okay, so this is where everything really, really begins. Okay, so this is also a good time to use my story technique sparingly, once or twice in the interview. If they say, how did you handle that conflict resolution? Oh, well, a situation comes to mind. Do you mind if I tell it to you in its entirety? Sure, go ahead. And then you tell a story about it. Well, here's the situation. Here's what happened. Okay. Here's how I handled it and the things that I did to handle it, the request for help that I sought out, or the different strategies I used. And then you want to say what happened as a result of that. How did it all end up? And then after that, you want to say what you learned from it and how you're incorporating that into the future. Now that's sentence or two, that minute that I just said is very difficult to do well. Very difficult. It must be practiced. You must practice that. Okay, so I encourage you for the second interview, go over the key areas that you know are important to the job you're going after. How can you do that? How can you meet their expectations in that role? How can you answer questions around conflict? Okay, conflict with your peers, conflict with your boss. Okay, they're going to want to know that, possibly. How did you handle that, and what was the outcome? And most importantly, what did you learn from that? So the second interview, if it goes well, then they're either going to hire you or you're going to move to a third interview. And the third interview is more about introducing you to others or putting the final stamp of approval on it or discussing the specifics of salary, compensation, those type of things. Depending on the role. Some roles they'll hire you after the second interview. Some it may go to a third. But the second interview is crucial. This is the most important interview because if you make it to the third interview, then their mind is almost made up on you. And then it's just polishing up the final touches of everything, which is a lot easier to do than the second interview. So congratulations on making it to the second interview. Practice, practice, practice. Going into this second interview, be ready, be prepared, do your research on the company, do your research on the role. I'm going to put out a total of 25 different videos on the top 25 aspects of interviewing that are important. This is one of them, the second interview, okay, very important. But I'll be putting out 24 other ones, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel so we can grow it and I can continue to help as many people as possible. If you have any specific individual questions, feel free to message me down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. So good luck on your second interview. I wish you well, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.